Welcome back to Ask Sloan, everybody.
Sponsored by Zentavos. Keep more of your money.
Well, welcome back to Ask Sloan. I'm sitting here with one of my good friends and a longtime client, JP Capistran, owner of Caplo Advisory Wealth Management. It's very exciting to have you here. We did a little short episode just the other day. What's in the cup? So let's see what JP wants to talk about.
I tell you what, man, I'm a little nervous about how Edwin is going to react to this because I made it on the podcast before Edwin. He's going to be upset, man. He was talking about that.
Well, he's on the way.
Okay.
He's next.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
This is so funny.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. What are we talking about today?
And it's your job.
That's my job.
That's your job. It's Ask Sloan.
Let me start off by introducing myself. As Sloan said, I'm JP Capistran. I have been in the financial service industry for 22 years now. Wow, man, that makes me feel
I
old.
know. We're so old now. It's terrible.
You know, yesterday, a young lady at Target called me sir. It was the first for me.
Was that the first?
Because I was like, hey, are you using
my
this
God.
cart? And she's like, no, sir. No, sir, you can have it. And I was like, damn, I'm not like a grandfather. What do you mean, no, sir?
Time out.
But yeah, been in the financial service industry for 22 years. Went independent about 5 years ago. Started Caplo Advisory, and it's been a journey.
Man,
you know?
I was about to say that's been a journey.
You know, I think one of the things that we can both agree on is that you were one out of like 3 people that I really leaned on during that time. Like, it was a crazy time for me because I went from like corporate backbone support.
Mm-hmm.
And always having that hustling, like side hustle thing going on, right? Like I always.
Well, you worked with a big dog, right?
Yeah.
AIG.
AIG,
you
yeah.
talk about processes and like,
Yeah.
you know, everything's in line. Culture was hardcore.
But there's something about having that corporate backing, you know, like I had health, you know, insurance, 401k, pension.
Oh, yeah.
You know, a paycheck every 2 weeks.
Right?
And then still doing all the, you know, side hustle stuff. But then like when that went away and I went independent, I was like, what the hell did I just do?
Whole new world,
And
bro.
I'll never forget, you were like, dude, you better buckle up because it's the Wild West out here.
Man, telling you.
And it is.
It is.
It really is.
No, it is. And, you know, your response was, man, I shouldn't have to deal with the Wild West. I came from AIG.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, bro, well, you just let
I'm
me know
standing
when
on
you
my
want to have
shoebox.
lunch, dude. And I'll catch you on the other side. It was a minute.
It
you know?
was.
About 6 months later, you called me back. We went to Harry's. We had breakfast.
Yeah.
You were like, bro.
It was, I don't regret it at all. And honestly, I wish I would have probably went independent a lot sooner, right? Prior to kids, prior to being married. I think I would have had a little bit of a different mindset on the independent, you know, world.
Maybe.
But maybe not.
Yeah.
But it was a struggle. At least the first 18 months. It was big.
It's really hard, man. When you go from having a paycheck that you can count on and managing your personal budget based on what you consider to be guaranteed income,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
It's a completely different thing. I have no idea where my money comes from next week. I have no idea. I have no clue.
Not only do you not know where your money's coming from, but you don't know how much is
I
coming in.
have no idea.
Yeah.
And as we grow our families, right? Like my kids are in college. Okay, your kids are getting into high school. Like they're still in junior high.
They're going
right?
into junior high.
They're going into junior high,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so like your personal budget grows every age they grow, right? Like my girls need cars and college tuition and, you know, weddings are, I got girls,
Yeah.
like, weddings are coming, so on and so forth. So like, I've been planning this for 20 years. I have not caught up.
Yeah.
Like I have no idea. So I don't know what tomorrow costs and I don't know what I make tomorrow. And it's a much more difficult thing for planning and strategy to figure out how to manage cash flow and develop wealth when you have no idea when your next dollar is going to hit.
But that's what we do. That's what Caplo Advisory does. And the key words there were strategy and planning. You know, and I did that my whole career as a financial advisor, financial planner for other people. But when I went independent very quickly, I had to do that for myself. Right?
Absolutely.
And I had to be a student of my profession and really learn what is the most important, because as that happened, it was right around COVID. we saw like this influx of entrepreneurs come to surface, right?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh
And so
yeah.
a lot
huge.
of them are our age. It's our generation, and immediately we started. After the pandemic and PPP money came out and all that stuff, like everybody started going and
PPP,
starting their
baby.
own business,
Yeah.
and that was definitely it was kind of a perfect storm for me, because I realized these baby boomers that I had been helping, plan and transition into retirement, was now moving in a different direction, where now I had to start working with entrepreneurs and individuals our age and helping them plan and strategize. And without a plan, man, you're really setting yourself up for failure, like
100%.
regardless of what it is, right?
100%.
I was talking to this young kid yesterday, and I asked him, he's about to get married, and I was like, have you asked somebody what it's like to be married? Like, what do you mean? I was like, have you asked anybody that you're close to or that you know what it's like to be married? He's like, no, actually I haven't. I said, do you want kids? And he said, yes. Have you asked anybody what it's like to have kids?
Sure.
And he's like, no. I was like, really, like, genuine. And don't ask
Yeah.
them, oh, kids are wonderful. No, ask them to tell you the truth. Like,
Absolutely.
like the challenges and the
Yeah.
difficulty. I think that's what I would ask, I would ask you, like, you had kids really early on,
Man. Ooh.
young,
Quick, bro.
And I waited a little bit. I was like, my late 20s, but how would you say that impacted you and your career and the dreams and the goals that you had by having kids early on?
So the first thing I wanted was a wife. Like the first thing I wanted in life was to like get married. Like that. Like I needed my.
Well, like, what do you mean? When you were like 9, you were like, I want to get married?
No, like that young, like second grade. Like I'm planning.
You watched Cinderella too many times?
Yeah, like for real. Like I was the hopeless romantic at
Yeah.
9 years old. There's no question. Like they say that like girls like plan their wedding their whole life. Like I planned my wedding since the time I knew that weddings like existed. You know what I mean? Like that's
hilarious.
That's legit, bro. That's straight up. Like, and so as a young man in my early 20s, and I've told this story on here before, but at some point I got to a place where I was like, look, I gotta stop, because I was it was terrible, bro.
Yeah.
Girls didn't like me. I was desperate and too much and all that. You know what I mean? So like I finally was like, you know what? After reading the Bible, I was like, okay, well, God brought Adam Eve. Okay, like Adam didn't even ask for her.
Yeah.
Like he was like, hey, Adam's over there. He's lonely. He needs somebody. I'm gonna get him, Eve. I'm like, man, I want that, bro. Like,
Yeah.
what's up? So I took it to the Lord. I was like, hey,
Bring me my Eve.
please bring me my Eve, okay? And then I let it go, which is not like me at that age, but I was able to like let it go, and so I did. I let it go. When I met my wife, then we fell in love. We were engaged in 4 months. Then we got pregnant 4 months later. Oops.
Yep.
And then we got married 4 months later, and then we had the baby 4 months after that. So it was so fast, okay? And when I met her, I was in college, taking accounting courses, planning to, potentially get my CPA and like take over my dad's firm or something like that. Like the plan was to do that until something else kind of hit, because I didn't really know. Like my previous thing was I want to be a movie star, and I decided that's not ever going to happen. So like I threw that dream away, and now I'm trying to figure out what my next dream is, but I got to do something, so I'm working with dad.
Yeah.
Well, after we had the baby, something completely changed in my psyche. Like all of a sudden, ideas started to form into like processes and strategies. It wasn't like, man, I hope to make a bunch of money one day. It was like, this is how you make money. Like it was like just completely different like outlook on life. Like, and I already like, I'm that guy that's like 20 years ahead. So it's like, okay, what do I have to pay for this child for its whole life? Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm studying personal finance and all
It's
these
almost
things.
like animalistic, like, like the lion and his cubs, like you
Absolutely,
have to start
like-
providing.
And so it's like, if I'm going to be able to afford all these things, and I'm working at a CPA firm, you know what I mean? Like I'm around people that are wealthy and that like they spend $100,000 on a wedding. This was back in like the early 2000s. So that wedding would be $500,000
Right,
today. You know what I mean? Like
right.
it's like, okay, like if I can't make 65 grand a year and support my family. So how am I going to make $1 million a year? How am I going to do this? And like, I'm not going to be able to do that working for somebody. Like I don't have enough letters behind my name, and I got started in school late because of my past, right? So for me, having kids early, helped me make the decision to become an entrepreneur, like straight up. Like if I'm gonna be able to provide for my family the way I want to, I need to build a business, right? And so that's what got me started on that journey. And I think also it changes the psychology of money for you, right?
Absolutely.
And I think that's really an important feature. It's like I didn't buy myself clothes for like 15 years. I got clothes for me at Christmas from my mother-in-law. Like that's not a joke, which is really funny. Like my mother-in-law bought my clothes.
Just like, wow, you've been wearing the same shit for 12 months, Sloan.
Bro. Yeah, no, it's true though. You know, and she would always buy me.
It's kind of
like,
weird. My mother-in-law buys me socks every Christmas.
Does she? See, and I love the socks.
She's probably
bro.
tired of seeing me wear the same.
I'm wearing
socks.
Bombas now because they like fit your feet. You know?
Yeah, those are nice.
But like all the money went to the girls, and that's cool. Like I'm down with that. Like I don't need anything. I had my wife. Okay, we got these beautiful children. You know, we hung out with my parents on Saturday, her parents on Sunday. We like did the whole family thing. But as far as like the brain, like how did it affect me? Like we were broke. You know, like we were just broke. Like I remember going to one of my business partners. Like we had just sold a website for like $3,000, and like I needed diapers and formula, okay? Which is like, I probably needed like $150. And so like I went to him and was like, bro, I know like we're not ready to distribute that money right now, but like, bro, I need some diapers and formula. Well, he didn't give it to me.
Yeah.
He didn't have kids.
And that's my point. People that don't have kids don't understand.
And they don't even care.
Yeah,
they don't even care. Like in that taught me a lot in that moment. Number one, about this person as my business partner, right? Number two, about like just like what you have to do to survive.
Yeah.
You know, and that's also part of why I care so much about the first time business owner and the small business owner, the little guy. I care so much about that person because I understand that struggle innately. But the blessing, what's the blessing side of that? Man, my girls are in college, bro. My wife and I are actually going to have a life here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like,
and
we're young.
And you're going to be able to enjoy it.
And I'm going to be able to enjoy it. And not just enjoy it with my wife. Like, I think everybody has their own thing, you know? If you enjoyed 10 years with your spouse before you have kids, like, that's awesome and beautiful, right? We didn't have that. My wife and I did not have that. Like, we enjoyed, like, a year. And half of that year was terrible. So it was like tough. And then the next 15, we're like, oh my goodness, are we going to make it? You know, kind of a thing. But we did. We made it. Our relationship is amazing today. And our kids are adults. So this next journey is going to be us having the life that we had with our parents, kind of, you know what I mean? With our kids. And then hopefully with some grandkids and stuff like that. So like, I'm so looking forward to that. So the tough thing was, my budget has always been higher than the money that I make. It just always has. And that inflection point will hit one day and cool. You know what I mean? I'm over it. But the blessing side of it is we're going to be able to enjoy a majority of our adult life with our family.
Yeah. We call those fixed expenses, right?
Yeah.
Not budget. That's a fixed expense.
Big, bro.
Like no matter what, you have to cover that nut at the beginning and the end of the month because kids got to eat. Kids need to change the diapers.
Absolutely.
And that was my point to this young kid just a couple of days ago. It was like, you really need to have a conversation with somebody to prepare yourself for what you're going to see. First of all, we really got into the conversation because he, as his advisor, he's a young Henry. You know what Henrys are?
No, give me. I've
so
heard the
Henry's
acronym. I know it,
Henry's
but
an
I don't use
acronym.
it.
It's not to be taken in a negative connotation.
Yeah.
It's a high earner, not rich yet. Right?
Yeah,
So,
there we
so
go.
your
Yeah,
high
yeah,
earning
yeah,
individuals making over six figures, but they're in their 20s or 30s, and they just don't have any wealth, but they're making a tremendous amount of income.
Sure.
He's a Henry. His fiance is a Henry, and I said, you really need to talk to somebody about the wedding because they want to spend $100,000 on a wedding.
Absolutely, they do.
I said, dude, that's the dumbest thing you can do.
100.
I said, I'm sorry, bro. I said, I love my wife. My wife and I are deeply in love. We have 3 beautiful children. We have a perfect marriage. You asked me about my wedding day. I don't remember half of it. right? Half the time I was nervous, and the other half the time I was wasted on the dance floor. Like, I mean, it was one day that went by like this, 6 hours. You know, like you can take that 100,000 and put it in investments or put it into your future, and by the time you're in your 40s, like myself now, like 20 years later, like, dude, you'll be set. You know,
that's the thing about weddings. Okay, like for whatever reason we want this day to be the best day of our life, it's not.
There's nothing.
It's not the best day of your life. Like, it doesn't matter. The $100,000.
Women are gonna see this and they're gonna, like, obviously bark at it because they feel it's a Cinderella story, right? Oh, ever since I was a kid, I want. Well, look, why don't we buy you a beautiful dress and take some pictures?
But tell me this.
And bring them here so you can do some videography.
Some of your dates, right, with your wife or your vacations, right? Like your wedding pales in comparison to those moments.
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
And so I'm not saying it's not an important day. I'm saying it's not the best day of your life.
I'm saying it's not $100,000 day.
It's not worth $100,000. I totally agree.
Yeah.
How much did Jeff Bezos spend on his wedding? Like $50 million or something? It's a joke, bro.
Yeah, but you're Jeff Bezos. If you're a billionaire, then okay, you can spend it on a wedding. But it's like,
but either way it goes, it's in my opinion, it's still not worth that.
It's true. But let's really dial in on, like, going back to, you know, being young and preparing for the future. You know, like, they're literally taking their savings. They have it, right? They're close to having that in their early 20s.
Absolutely. And
you're blowing it on one day in a wedding. It's like, bro, come on.
So what did you tell them to do with the money instead?
I said it was the dumbest idea ever because the whole thing started because they're questioning, should we buy our home, right? Like, they're renting a house. The landlord's ready to sell it. We would have to pull from the wedding fund if we buy
no.
Dude, buy the house. Like, your mortgage your rent will now become your mortgage. You'll have an asset. Buy the house. You know.
Yeah.
And then I said, like, really take some time, sit down, go to dinner, and think about what I'm telling you. And they were listening. Like, they really were listening.
That's great.
Yeah, because I told, like, you know, I've achieved a level of success, and sometimes when my younger clients understand where I came from and what I've accomplished, they're more susceptible to kind of, like, listening. Like, well, he's been there, right?
Exactly.
I'm at that age now, right? The sir age. And
the sir age.
And I told him, I was like, hey,
Sir
you need to really rethink this. Like, get the most important people in your life, not your friends, your most important people in your life that are going to be with you through the good, the bad, and the ugly, and celebrate that day with them and minimize that cost. That would be my advice to you. And then invest the rest.
Absolutely.
I don't know if they're going to do that or not. I'm probably not invited to the wedding now because the fiance was a little upset and didn't feel the same way. But he was listening.
For sure.
So, yeah, and then
so let me ask you this. Did you drill down into what she values?
I didn't. So I'm not working with her yet.
Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
She will come into the picture. And I didn't want to, you know, as an advisor, you have to be careful, you know, how you handle your relationships with your clients. And you have to remember that you're advising. That's all I can do. I can't tell them what to do.
100%.
I can't hold them accountable for doing or not doing what they're human, right? They're going to make mistakes. I make mistakes. You make mistakes. All I can do is advise. And that's all I did. And so we'll see what happens. But,
okay.
I want to ask you a little bit. Let's talk a little bit more about Henry's. You know, that's a primary demographic of clientele that I have recently, you know, absorbed and they're coming in, you know, rapidly. These high earning individuals. I know that we work with a lot of the same clients, you know, on this accounting and tax side and on the advising side here with my financial advising practice. But how do you feel about these young kids that are making, you know, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year, and they can't make ends meet? Right? They can barely make ends meet. Like, what are we gonna do about this generation of high earners that aren't
it's a
preparing
great
for the
question.
future?
I think about it a lot, JP. And it's the psychology of money. And like, I'm really super focused on that and trying to figure out how to send that message, right? Because there's this, they don't understand their own psychology of money. In my opinion, we all have money trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all of us, in my opinion. My money trauma is around being told no. Like, no, we don't have enough money for that.
Yeah.
Like,
are you crazy?
What do you mean we don't have enough money
Can't
for
afford
that? But then you bought this over here.
Yeah.
Like we can go to Disney, Dad, but I can't go to the movies next weekend. You know, like, I don't understand, you know? When
We can't go to Golden Corral tonight.
like,
It's
you know,
Tuesday. Yeah.
when I was a young man, my mom took me to the grocery store to kind of get my kitchen set up at my house, right? And she spent like $1,000, right? And I literally cried on the way home because I made that a month. Like, how the heck am I supposed to live if like it costs $1,000 at the grocery store just to get ketchup and mustard? Like what are you talking about? You know? So psychology of money, super important. What's the problem? The problem is advertisements. The problem is believing that, because all of our ads around brands are lifestyle ads. Your life is going to be wonderful and joyful, and you're gonna be fulfilled. Like when you see the ads for name any brand, it's beautiful people smiling on the beach, like just like carefree.
The marketing game has
like the marketing game
a
is
chokehold
insane,
of
right?
this,
Okay, so and then the thing is like, okay, if you buy that bag, like you're gonna be happy, right? If you have all the things that Kim Kardashian has, you're gonna have a wonderful life. But if you study Kim Kardashian's life, it ain't a wonderful life, right? Like, is that the life you want? Do you and so really, like, I'm definitely trying with my messaging to dive into what's valuable. And that's why I asked you, what's valuable to her?
Yeah.
Are the pictures from the wedding more valuable to her than the home that she's going to raise her children in? And does she understand that? Okay, so first of all, no, she doesn't understand that right now. And that's okay. And that's why you need mentors, right? So I think what we need to do about it is for us and our brands and our companies, we need to not double down on that same psychology of money. And we need to teach the truth.
Yeah.
Right? And we need to teach about building wealth. I like to say, like, what do wealthy people have?
Money.
They have money. Great
money.
answer. Okay. What do rich people have?
Bags.
Rich people are broke wearing Gucci. Okay. Straight up.
Yeah,
like, that's the truth, right? Yeah. Okay. So do you want wealth? And wealth isn't things. Wealth is I am financially free. Wealth is I have the ability to do the things that I want and to provide for my family. Like, it's different for women and men, right? Yeah. But having the family life that I want is much better than driving the new car, right? Yeah. There's a book called Happiness. And this guy studied the part of the psychology of money, okay? Anything you buy, it doesn't matter how much you spend on it. It doesn't matter you buy a jet, a yacht, a Gucci bag, an umbrella from Target. I mean, it doesn't matter what you buy. It literally does not matter what you buy. Whatever you buy, it has a life of 9 months.
Yeah.
After 9 months, it is trash to you. Completed trash. Again, go buy a Rolls Royce. 9 months later, it's going to have a couple nicks and scratches on it, and you're going to be like, this car's a POS.
Trash. Yeah.
Okay, it's trash.
Yeah.
So I think that we need to be driving that point home, that people really need to get in touch with their own psychology of money and to really spend time journaling and meditating on what they value in life and what actually achieves that result.
The challenge, though, Sloan, is you're absolutely right with the psychology of money, but the challenge becomes one of those situations where you've never had it, and now you can have it. Now you want it, right? It goes back to being told no as a child, right? No, you can't afford that. Are you crazy? You know. And so, what we do a little different, what I've started doing a little different, is implementing like lifestyle into the planning process.
Absolutely.
Right. And I always encourage anybody that doesn't come from money or doesn't come from wealth that starts making money to spend it. Right. Take a year and spend the money. Go buy the bag, go buy the car, and allow that stuff to become trash.
Absolutely.
Right? At that point, now we can sit down and realize how dumb it is, right? To try to prove, how successful you are through purchasing things.
Right.
And then we can get serious and dial in on the planning process. And it's a challenge, man, because there's so many people, so many first generation income earners that to no fault of their own or to their their parents or their household, they didn't come from a financially stable or financially literate household, and they're kind of set up for failure if you really think about it, right?
100%.
And they're drawn into the marketing, into the advertisement, into the friends, and you go back to what did this young lady value? I don't really know what her values are yet, but I do know that several times in the conversation she was comparing her wedding to other weddings she had been to.
Absolutely.
Right? So it becomes this clout game. It's like, well,
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Stacy had DJ Khaled at her wedding,
Right.
So I want Bruno Mars at mine.
Absolutely.
And it's like,
yeah.
okay, well, why?
So
is that going to make your love stronger?
100%. And we're not spending enough time getting to know ourselves and why we have this need for validation, this need to be either equal to or better than, like that comes from here.
Yeah.
Are you good with you? It's a journey.
And kids and marriage do teach you that.
They do. They 100%
100%.
do. I totally agree with that.
100%.
I like to leave, we're kind of running out of time this time, but definitely want to have you back. And I like to leave the audience with some words of wisdom. And so what I want to like drill down on in our conversation is there's two ways to think about your money, right? That I've witnessed with my clients. Okay. One is, if I've got it, now I need to spend it. Right. And there's usually like this amount. So I've got one client, when he gets to $100,000 in his bank account, he's got to go buy something that's 20 or 30 grand. Just has to. Oh, I'm good. I got plenty of money. I'm just going to go buy this. And then he gets down to 30 grand in his bank account and he literally cries like a baby. Okay. So are you spending the money in your account because it's there? And if you are, you really need to think about that. And then you really need to change your mindset to long-term financial goals, not short-term spending, right? And it'll go a long way, y'all, okay? And so, we've talked about the 50-30-20 plan, right? I've talked about it on here. It's impossible. We've talked about that. What do you teach?
60-20-20.
60-20-20. So whether it's 50-30-20 or 60-20-20 or 70-15-15, like, you need to start somewhere. When I was broke, where did I start? I started with, hey, I smoke cigarettes. I'm going to stop smoking cigarettes. I'm going to put that $5 in Acorns, okay? Like, start somewhere. Start a habit of saving every day something, whether it's $1, $5, $10, and then really think about your money trauma and what you value in life and draw a roadmap on how to get there, and then have some discipline around it.
Yeah, we call it a financial plan.
Hey.
We call it a financial plan, and I know it sounds cliche, and people hear that term and they're like, oh, but it's essentially the blueprint to your financial future. You have to put it down on paper. You have to visually see where you are today and where you want to be. And just to kind of piggyback on what you're saying, a few things from my perspective. Money is very real, right? Don't let anybody tell you that money isn't everything. Money's not important. Money is very real. It's a necessity. It's something that we need. It's something that's mandatory to maintain life, to maintain happiness, and to make sure that your families are taken care of. However, time is also real, and you're not going to stay young forever. I've blinked. I was 20. Blinked, I was 30. Blinked, I'm in my 40s, early 40s. I am now at a point in my life where I can see and visualize retirement. And thankfully, I had a mentor that helped me learn very early on in my 20s to put a little bit away. And I started with $20 a week, $25 a paycheck, or whatever the case was. And I'll never forget when right before I got married, I was sitting with the client that was about to retire, and I was in my early 30s or late 20s, somewhere around there. And I had more money saved up in my 401k than this individual that was 65 years old.
Absolutely.
And I was like, what happened? And they just started late. But life happened, and it wasn't their fault.
No.
But man, start early. Don't let anybody tell you that you can catch up later, because later gets here sooner than you expect.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And look, if you want to get with JP, you need a great financial planner. You need a wealth manager. You just need a money mentor, okay? Please DM me. I'll definitely get you guys connected. Like I said, one of my good friends, he manages my money, and he's been a client for a long time. So we hope you have an amazing day. Like Zentavo says, keep more of your money. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. See you next time.
Sponsored by Zentavos. Keep more of your money.